I just want to thank you and you, because if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be here, and I know it. So I really appreciate you explaining. We did a video once where you explained who you are and where you're at. You're in Massachusetts.
Ludlow, Mass. Discount motor sales and auto repair.
Northern Storage. You're servicing Recovery Zone. Your CTS. There's 3 or 4 companies that you're doing. You stock parts for the Lil Herc. So all you guys in New York need to know, or on the East Coast, that this gentleman has parts, springs, pins, whatever is needed that is a consumable. He's got it to keep his customers on the road. So these guys that are close to you, Philly,
if they need
New
something
York,
right away, I'll have it.
And that's a great thing. There's not many clients that do that.
That way there's very little downtime in our area.
So I got to ask the question for the public to know, why did you refer Charles, CTS Towing, to Detroit Record?
Because I've seen a lot of these units, and these are the strongest and the best by far compared to anything else out there. You guys strengthen the frame more ways than anybody all put together. It's just incredible how much you guys strengthen these vehicles.
You're not arriving at this after a year or 2. We've had a relationship now for how long?
Almost 4 years now, I think.
And you've seen it all.
I've seen them all, and you can't beat these. You cannot beat these by far. Again, the quality of what you do, everything's greasable, it's easy to service, and if you just maintain them, they'll last forever.
Sure. And that's my hardest thing to convey to the public, that look, if you don't grease and tighten it, what a waste of your money and our time. We've made the provisions. So
it's there. Where all the other ones, they don't make the provisions. It's very simple.
And we're very thankful that you're referring your friends and family to us, because you know in your heart that it's going to be better for him in the long run.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, I really appreciate you for biting the bullet, getting the nicer truck, because I know you said, Mike, I'm not, at first it was, nah, I'm not spending that kind of money. And I don't know what happened, but you had an epiphany and said, you know what, we're doing it right. We're going to get the nice truck.
It's a little more. You said this would be the best truck for the money. And
only
because to get the better version.
And because that 20 extra grand with the cameras and with all the things, the bells and whistles that this has, when you're backing up at night and you don't want to bounce the truck or car that you're towing, you know how when you're trying to line these cars up and park them nice and neat, those cameras are going to do nothing but help you. Exactly. You know, when it's really cold outside and you jump in that truck and it's a heated steering wheel and seat, well, that feels a lot better on a hot day in the summer with AC blowing up your butt. I mean, how do you have a bad day at work when you got such a nice truck?
Yep.
Because let's be honest, you're in these trucks how many hours
That's
a
your
day?
office. That's your that's the best office chair you're ever going to get.
Right. This is the truth. How long you been towing?
40 years.
So you're not new to the game?
No. And from what I've seen, this is a very good system. I like it. You've been great. You've treated us very well, like family. So in the end, I'm happy, you know. That's just the only thing I can say, you know what I mean? If Scott wouldn't have gave me the okay, I wouldn't be somewhere else.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I trust him 100%, and now I trust you 100%. So.
And that, from your mouth to God's ear, that's exactly what we strive. If you're not making money, then you're darn sure aren't going to buy another one. You know, if you're having nothing but problems and having to consistently buy parts, replacement annually, and that's where, again, I admire your mechanic that says, hey, this is a much better system. With the 3 or 4 companies you're dealing with, what are the things that you're replacing?
It's maintenance. The bushings, you got to grease them, and that's it. And if it doesn't take grease, take it apart and clean it. Something got in there. That's the biggest thing, is to know that they got to be greased. And if you grease them all the time, it'll keep flowing and it'll go fine.
So you have clients that don't grease them.
They don't grease them, and
then you have to replace the bushing.
Then you have to replace the bushing.
How easy is that procedure?
Pretty simple. In less than an hour, you can replace a bushing.
Right.
You know.
The other thing that's nice about this system is it's not real invasive on the truck.
Right.
It's very hidden, more or less.
Incognito.
Right. So you're not, you know, got a big old boom and winches and everything hanging all over the place.
Stick it out like a sore thumb driving down the road.
I mean, you can actually just drive it like a normal vehicle, and if you don't know what it is, you just think it's a glorified trailer hitch.
Right. Yeah. Boat. It's a boat ramp launch.
Right.
You know. How does it ride?
They ride like a Cadillac.
Right.
This is my go-to vehicle right here.
And this is the ultimate Denali. This is the
AT4,
but it's packaged like a Denali. Yeah, it's the same dash. It's the same
everything
interior.
is exactly the same as a Denali, except it's got the off-road package.
Right.
So it gives you a little bit more lift and a few other little options, and a couple little less options. Like I don't have the power tilt wheel.
Yeah.
And I don't have the power pedals.
Big
But
deal.
Who
yeah.
needs those?
Right. Yeah. If you can't
never
pull the
use them
lever,
anyway, yeah.
right. It's faster to
Yeah,
do this,
exactly,
lift it
yeah.
up, you know, instead of waiting.
And once it's set, it's set. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
No, she's a beautiful truck, and I'm so excited. You know, you guys got another one going back down for another customer.
Yep.
So, I mean, you actually sell these units, so that's a good thing to tell these guys too. I mean, if you need service, you need parts, a one-man band. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, you used to primarily do, and still do, your company does auto repair.
Yep, that's what we
But
started off
you kind of
as.
shifted now.
I shifted into doing mainly these,
And
mainly Detroit wreckers.
Sure. Selling, servicing.
Selling,
helping.
servicing the vehicles, all the maintenance to the trucks.
And you know, another thing is I value your opinion, because you deal with these owners and these companies and these different brands of trucks. People ask me, what truck is the best? And to me, it doesn't matter. They all need a frame reinforcement and rear suspension. To you,
I think the Ford holds up
repaired-
the best as the truck. I'm a GMC guy. I love my GMs.
Yeah, I was going to say, because here's your buddy.
Yeah,
he's got,
a GMC.
Right.
I think they're very comparable. I think the Ford might hold up just a little bit better.
Why?
Maintenance-wise, on the vehicle itself.
Okay.
That's the main thing, is I see they need a little bit more maintenance on the GMC.
So you're
than
not
the Ford.
referring to the motor or trans, you're referring to...
Just a routine maintenance on the Fords is less.
Sure.
The ball joints hold up better for some reason. You know, it's a solid front end versus an independent.
Right.
It doesn't ride quite as good as a GM. That's why I'm a GM guy.
Right,
you know?
right.
But, and that's the thing. You maintain a truck, you change the oil, change the fuel filters, maintain the wheel lift at the same time. You know, these guys, I have a few guys that they were doing their own oil changes. They never checked anything.
Right.
You got to be part of the maintenance.
I got to be honest, that, you know, Bill at Northern Storage, he met you for the first time, said, dude, I'm not going anywhere else but this guy. He
drives over an hour to come to me.
Does he?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, everybody that I send you raves about you. So,
Yep.
and I appreciate that. And that really makes me feel good that someone's going to steer them in the right direction. If I didn't have good people like you and everybody here, this team is a glorified family environment. You know, we really want to have the success shared with the clients, with ourselves. If you're not successful, neither are we. What would you say your experience is with the other brands? How often? I mean, I tell people that, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't think that this is the truth, that you can't gross $200,000-$300,000 with our competitors and not put tens of thousands into it. You could gross millions with ours and not have to put tens of thousands into it.
It's, to me, idiotic, some of the other designs where it's really simple. They could put a grease fitting or make these things last long. They purposely don't.
Correct.
You know, and it's not easy to service them.
Right.
You know, they could tear this down in 2 hours. You can tear this whole thing down.
Yeah. You ever dealt with the fold pin on one of the other guys? They got a roll pin holding it in. There's no way to get to it. You got to drill the whole pin out.
I was going to say, drill it, torching it in some cases. It's next to impossible to get out.
And hence the reason these guys need you so much.
One of them I serviced, they had a truck like that. It hadn't been maintained in a while. I started maintaining. We needed booms and everything, new collars welded on because they don't come out.
Sure. And one of the things that you're doing with this truck, and I'm really excited to get these motorcycle tats. We'll show you how to use it here shortly. You're taking your bike down to Bike Week.
yes.
So one of the things he said to me was, it'd be really nice if you get this done, you know, for Bike Week. So we made it. You know, I'm real excited. You got to send us pics.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you get it, so that way Zach can throw them up there, because that's going to be
Huge.
Yeah, pretty cool to see you out there with your new truck.
Well, you know what it is there's nobody that tows bikes.
Yeah.
You know, you can buy the units for the flatbeds and all that, but it's a pain. This is quicker. It's going to be easier.
One-man band.
Well, yeah, and now with these insurance companies, you know, all the ones that call looking for bike tows, it's going to be simpler.
Sure.
I normally, when they call me for bike tows, I use a trailer.
Yeah.
You know, now I can eliminate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just put it right on there. The best part about that is I save the tolls going down and back.
Oh, right. Huh?
For the extra trailer, you know?
Yeah, you don't have the
I have the extra axle.
Extra axle, yeah. Well, I'm so excited for you, and I can't thank you guys enough, and I hope that somebody sees this on the East Coast, and if they need anything, to call Scott. What's your phone number over there? Where's your address?
It's 135 Carmelinas Cir, Ludlow, Mass. It's 413-279-4379.